Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome to another Top 10. Basically, if you haven't really realized, we're pretty much going to be doing these every single holiday. But we're not going to be talking about holidays today. This Top 10 is not actually related to Thanksgiving in any way, shape, or form. Instead, we're going to be talking about music. Preferably good music. Video game music, to be precise. Video games have a fantastic music if you really want to, listen to some. Some games have pretty bad music, but some games have really good music. And obviously, why on earth would we talk about bad music? We want to talk about good music. So, here we go. Top 10 video game soundtracks. With a few honorable mentions before we digress. Earthbound, sorry buddy, couldn't fit you in the list. Oh well. There's just better music. Ninja Gaiden NES, again, sorry buddy, couldn't fit you on the list. Red Dead Redemption, I just didn't feel it. I just did not feel it. And then Katamari on the Funk, particularly Katamari in general, but the rest of the music doesn't quite live up to what Katamari on the Funk is. If I was doing the top 10 themes, Funk would be number 2. But since the rest of the music doesn't quite support on the Funk, it can't quite reach that level of sheer greatness that you expect from a soundtracks list. So we're not talking about themes, we're talking about soundtracks. Also, other things like Donkey Kong Country and Final Fantasy and Metal Gear Solid are games that I haven't completely played through, so I don't know whether or not the music's actually as good as everybody says. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started.
Oh, good. There you are. Let's get started.
Portal 2. What a game. I personally think it's one of Valve's best games. But we're not talking about gameplay, though. Let's talk about the music. Let's see in, say, 2 examples if this music is worth going on the list. Just 2. Just like one of them is the original song written for the game. Excuse me, I bumped the mic. The original song written for the game by The National, and another one being, just like some random song. Let's go.
It takes your mind again. You got suckers luck. Have you given enough? Does it feel like a trial? Does it trouble your mind the way you trouble mine?
Okay, that was pretty good. Let's see about something that's just from the game, just willy-nilly. You walk into a room, you hear it. See what I mean? Portal 2 definitely deserves a spot on this list. The just hardcore synths and then the looser piano orchestral parts mixed together to make an amazing soundtrack that just lets you want to place portals here, there, everywhere, and then just like be done with the game. You finish it in one day, you're pretty happy, and it's not a day, because, you know, the game gets a little bit difficult. Not too difficult, not too much of a difficult one, but it gets harder as it goes on, obviously. And then there's like a nice story to go along with it. Oh, gushing. Sorry, next topic. Super Mario World! Wow, this game is possibly the greatest launch title of all time. This was a perfect example of what the Super Nintendo could do and should do. This more cartoony Mario game happens to be a fantastic game with a fantastic soundtrack. Also, one could say that all the songs in this game sound the same, which they sort of do, but hey, it ain't number one, so get off my back, jeez. I love this game, and I love the song, no matter how many times it is remixed in the game. It perfectly fits the environment, and it's still pretty awesome to this day. The song's got drums, it's got like little doo-doo-doo-doo, and it's like slow, and the ghost house and stuff, and love myself some Mario. Especially World. Now, if you may remember, last time it was Mario 3, but after further consideration, World is a far better game. Legend of Zelda franchise. For some reason, Zelda has always had an amazing soundtrack. It would be nearly impossible to pick one out as the best, so I decided to put the entire freaking thing. If there's something wrong with that, my PR department is awaiting your call at 1-800-NOT-CARE. Either way, I really love myself some music from any of the 9 billion games in the franchise, and I think that the franchise deserves a spot, and it's not the only franchise here, so be prepared for another franchise that also has amazing music that I think is actually better than Zelda. But Zelda games have always been known for their music. They've always been known for their great gameplay, and in the case of Wind Waker, they're known for their amazing graphics. So, I leave you with this. Don't hate on a list because somebody can't decide which one's the best. Because sometimes, it's impossible to tell. I already talked about this one in my last top 10, but Castlevania's music is utterly fantastic. You got Bloody Tears, Simon's themes, so good. I'm only referring to the classic games in the franchise in this list. Why? Because Castlevania kinda sucks now. Like, you wanna hear some awesome video game music? Go play the NES and SNES games. You will not regret it. They are some tunes to behold. I think that Castlevania might have some of the best music, like, on the classic consoles. It's just really awesome. And if you really want to just have some great tunes to kill Dracula to next time you kill Dracula, pop in the Castlevania soundtrack. What is this mysterious game you see before you? Well, it's Elemental. This game is unlike any other I've ever seen, and guess what? It's an indie game. Indie games seem to be leading the charge in creative game design. From Limbo to this game to Super Meat Boy and so many others have unique art and amazing gameplay. And the soundtrack. The soundtrack is heavenly. The clicks and squeaks combine to make music as beautiful as the game itself. The music is something to listen to. I mean, just listen to this. Yeah, but the music is pretty amazing, but what's the game exactly about? What do you do? I mean, after all, it's a little indie game, so not many people exactly know what it's all about. Well, I'm just gonna do a little bit of advertising here. Basically, it's a 2D platformer in which you are a little marshmallow thingy, and you have control over all the elements, and it makes you able to transform into many different, like, things. So, like, you can become fire, rock, and, like, ice, and all those, all 4 elements. I don't know exactly what they are. I think it's like wind, water, fire, earth. Yeah, I think so. I have to remember my element skateboarding days. But that's pretty much what the game's about. I've been looking forward to this entry the entire time I've been making this list. Bioshock Infinite is one of the greatest soundtracks ever, from beginning to end. Whether it is the jazzy remixes of 60s songs in 1910, well actually 1912, but whatever, or the amazing combat and credits music, this game has never failed to impress me with its soundtrack. When it wants to be slow and emotional, it is slow and emotional. If it wants to be intense and actiony, it is intense and actiony. If it wants to amaze you with bewilderment at what people are doing, not gonna go into it because I don't want to tell you anything about this game because I want you to play it. It's so good. But if it wants to, like, shock you, it is going to shock you. If you've never played this game before, I recommend you do it immediately. You will not feel like you wasted your money. This game's story is also the best story I've ever seen in the game. Hands down. This game's story is just so good. And I don't really want to spoil anything because I want you to play it yourself. Again. I want you to know what I'm talking about because you've played it, not because I've told you. Don't look up spoilers. Buy the game now. It's probably on sale in the Steam summer sale. Or not summer sale, fall sale. And then if it's not the fall sale and you're watching this, there's a sale coming up. They do one every season. I leave you with one more thing. The epic credits song. Now, you're probably thinking, what? Because it's the credits song, but after that ending, you're gonna want to hear this.
If you don't draw first, you don't get to draw.
Mega Man 3, if you don't know this, Mega Man is my favorite series of all time. Proto Man's my favorite video game character of all time. I love the Blue Bomber. When it comes to gameplay, Mega Man 2 by far is my favorite Mega Man. However, Mega Man 2 just has some good songs, you know, it's a little bit of highlights here and there. When Capcom made Mega Man 3, they're like, you know what? Let's just make a perfect Mega Man game where every single song is absolutely fantastic. Because there are 0 bad songs in this game. My favorite songs include Snake Man and the Credits song, which is just an expanded version of Proto Man's theme, who is my favorite video game character of all time. Oh, like you didn't see this one, Fuzro, dying its way into the list. We all knew the Elder Scrolls would have an entry here, and Skyrim makes the number 3 spot. If you've never heard the music of Skyrim or any Elder Scrolls game before, you're missing out. It is fantastic. There's really not too much to say about Skyrim that hasn't been said a million times over. So basically, Skyrim is awesome. If you haven't played it, go play it. It's fun. It's really fun. And if you just want to watch it, I'm sure there's a million series out there of it, because this game was huge, and it's also super fun. The music is intensive when you're fighting dragons, it's beautiful when you're looking at the landscape, and it is just utterly fantastic. When I was making this list, I knew I wanted to put Pokemon somewhere on the list. Pokemon has always been known for having amazing music, so I decided which generation do I wanted to pick from. I could pick Generation 1, I mean, after all, it had this music. And that might work, but what about Gen 2? Does Gen 2 have any really good songs? Because if Gen 2 doesn't have any, then I guess we're gonna have to go with Gen 1. Okay, if Gen 1 and 2 have great music, that's fine. What about Gen 3? If Gen 3 doesn't have any good music, then we can just say Gen 1 and 2 and we can be done with this. So, let's hear Gen 3. Okay, we can just say 1, 2, and 3. We can just say 1, 2, and 3, as long as Generation 4 has absolutely no good music. Please tell me Generation 4 has no good music. Okay, they cannot keep a streak for 5 generations. Generation 5, it cannot have as amazing music as 1, 2, 3, and 4. As long as we can just include 1, 2, 3, and 4, we'll be fine. Gen 5 better not have good music. Okay, the most recent Gen 6, as long as, like, we can just say 1 through 5, the whole franchise cannot be in this. I mean, come on. As long as Gen 6 doesn't have anything. Okay, fine, we're putting in the whole franchise. Oh my god, this game's music. This is a little indie title called No Time to Explain. Not There's No Time, just No Time to Explain. It's made by Tiny Build Games, and the music is utterly fantastic. It is the best music I've ever heard in a video game ever. It is so good. The whole time you just feel awesome playing the game. It's got that rock 8-bit like mix-up, and it's so good. If you haven't bought this game, I recommend you do. It's really fun, and my god, just listen to this.